Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rhino Movement. It's me, Iron Rhino. I wanted to take some time today to talk about protein supplements. Um, as I've stated before, supplements are absolutely not a necessity in your life, but if you are struggling to get an adequate amount of protein in your system in an average day, they are a tool that's available to you if you just don't have the time to eat more meals. I know for me personally, I work from home, I create internet content, I watch my children, I go to the gym, I build things in my garage, I have a lot going on. And so increasing the number of times I eat per day is just too time consuming, really. I don't like eating breakfast very much. I generally am not very hungry when I wake up, but I do like starting my day with some protein. So generally, I have an iced coffee that I mix a scoop or two of protein powder into. Um, then I'll eat pretty normally for the rest of the day, and sometimes I use a protein supplement in the evening as well. Especially if I haven't had a great day as far as like getting all of my meals in. Sometimes I skip lunches. It happens. We as humans live very busy lives, and sometimes it's just hard for us to give up 30 or 45 minutes to sit down and eat a meal. If you could add in a few shakes a day to get yourself up to a substantial amount of protein for your goals, um, it it's an option that's available to you. So when you're looking at your protein intake, you really don't want to be below probably zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.6 grams of protein per pound of body weight uh, over the course of your day. That would be roughly 60 grams of protein per 100 pounds of body weight. So, as a 350-pound man, we're talking about 210 grams of protein. And then, kind of on the upper side, you don't really need to go above like zero point 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. So that would put me a little closer to 280 grams of protein because that's 80 grams of protein per 100 pounds that you weigh. And again, being around 350, that would give me 3.5 times the 80 grams. So let's talk about some of the types of protein that are available to you. Uh, just as a heads up, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I don't have any stake in what brand of protein you choose. The most important thing that you choose is a protein powder that meets your dietary restrictions. There are vegetarian and vegan protein powders available if that is the lifestyle that you lead. Don't think that you can only choose a dairy based protein powder. And then also, different types of protein vary in the amount of carbohydrates and fats and things like that. So you need to look at your day overall and what kind of foods you're taking in to see what protein powder is going to meet your goals the best. Also, I'm going to apologize because some of these are in bags, and so they might make a bit of noise into the microphone. I'll try to mitigate that as much as possible. But so let's just start from kind of the baseline, the standard for protein powder, and that is we've got here just standard whey protein. This is a whey protein concentrate. It is kind of the middle of the road. As far as protein powders go, it's not the fastest digesting, it's not the slowest digesting. You can kind of argue over how important the digestion speed is, but unless you're a really high performing athlete, there's not a whole lot of need to get super fast protein into your system right now. Whey protein is a good application of protein powder in probably 80 or 90% of gym goers, and especially newer gym goers. Anybody who's not even gym goers, but anybody who's newer to fitness, or even just kind of at like an intermediate level and not top tier, upper echelon athletes, a whey protein concentrate will work just fine for you. There's a substantial amount of protein in it. Most whey protein concentrates have at least 20 grams of protein per scoop. So you can scale that based on what your needs are for the day and add that in to be able to get the extra protein to get you where you need to be to achieve your goals. Up next, we have Protein Matrix. So this from Ghost is just labeled as whey protein. It's a combination of isolate, concentrate, and hydrolyzed isolate. I don't know that there's really a need to specify the difference between isolate and hydrolyzed isolate, as again, it's not really going to make a big effect or difference in the average person. But 1 scoop of the Ghost protein has like 25 grams of protein powder in it, or protein in a scoop of the powder. So it does give you a little bit extra bump, but it's just another tool in the toolbox, right? I am kind of iffy on that brand specifically. It tastes really good, but it doesn't necessarily mix the best. But again, I'm just giving you the information I have and hoping that you make the choices that make the most sense for you. To follow up with that, we have what is the fastest digesting form of protein powder, which is a whey protein isolate. Whey isolates are labeled as the fastest digesting protein. I have actually yet to see a good conclusive study that it matters how fast your protein digests into your system, aside from, like I said before, those high tier athletes. The real high performers are where that matters the most, as their nutrient timing matters a little bit more. On the plus side, a whey protein isolate is more filtered than any of the other whey proteins that we've talked about so far. So what that means is you're probably going to get less carbohydrates, less fats, but it does come with a higher price tag. So it really depends on if your goals need you to cut down those 5 or 6 grams of carbs and the 2 or 3 grams of fat that you're going to get in a matrix or in a concentrate. You really have to know if you need to get rid of those to know if it's worth you spending the extra money on an isolate. I think for most companies, well, I think for First Form specifically, the difference between their matrix protein and their isolate is about $5 a tub. If you don't have the extra money for it, the difference in the carb and fat content isn't going to kill you. Also, these are specifically Ghost and First Form are a little higher tier companies. They do charge more of a premium for their product. Don't think that you need to spend the most money to get the best quality product. I'm not saying that those companies are lower quality. They are potentially higher quality, but you can also buy a whey protein concentrate from an Aldi or wherever for probably $15 a tub. It will still get more protein in your system. So that kind of covers whey proteins. And just as a general idea, the first protein I showed you in the bag is from a website, myprotein.com. And for cost effectiveness, you can generally get a higher like bulk container of protein for cheaper by going with some sites like that. Again, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't have discount codes for anybody. I don't particularly care where you get your protein powder from. If this is a tool you choose to use, just look into some options, see what's available, see what you can afford, see what meets the needs that you have. So, that being said, there is another type of protein powder that I do use from time to time, and that is slow release casein. It's generally just referred to as casein protein. Um, there is a kind of myth that goes around the internet that you can drink casein protein and build extra muscle in your sleep. That's not quite how it works. There's no real evidence base behind that. So don't think that just drinking casein protein is going to help get you way more jacked or anything like that. What it does do is by releasing slower into your system, it allows for a more constant feed of amino acids to your muscles. I do take casein before bed sometimes, but again, it's usually just in those applications where I know I didn't get enough protein in during my day. I track all of my meals in my Fitness Pal, and I can see when I'm lacking in protein. So I will sometimes make Jello sugar-free pudding with some casein protein powder mixed into it, and then I have dessert and a protein at the same time. But it could be any protein at night, honestly. That's just the route I choose to go, and you should make your decisions based on your goals and what you think. I choose casein. Also, if I know that I'm going to have a long day or a day with like long gaps of not being able to eat, especially days where I know I'm going to be doing things physically intensive, because those days, having that steady feed of amino acids into my muscles, it's going to help ensure that I'm not depleted of nutrients. Again, it's not necessary. I don't know for certain that it makes any particular difference. It's just what I choose to do to make sure that I'm staying on track. And again, you don't need it. If you're able to eat decently throughout your day, you don't need to spend the money. Um, there are there's a lot of money to be made in supplement companies and internet influencers preaching to you how much you need this protein or these supplements in your life, and you don't. This is the kind of thing that I want to kind of talk about. I'm not saying supplements or supplement companies are bad. I'm saying the effectiveness of supplements may be overstated at times to draw you in to buy things more. And that's just marketing. That's what advertisements are for. Just remember to keep your goals at the front of your mind anytime you're looking into something new to start taking. Just remember, these are tools that are available to you. They're not necessities. And no matter how much Instagram or Facebook ads or any of that may preach it to you, you don't absolutely need them in your life. That's really all I have to say on the subject. I hope this helps give you some insight if you're thinking about starting or you currently do take protein powders and you're not really sure why. It may not be necessary in your life. Look at your goals, look at what you need to eat in a day, look at what you are eating in a day. You may be eating enough whole food with protein in it to not need the protein supplements that you currently take. Just don't let somebody else dictate to you what you need. You know your body, you know what works for you. I'm just trying to help convey some information. Comment down below if you have any questions about supplements, protein powders, anything you'd like me to dive deeper into. I'm more than happy to get a little more scientific and share some of the meta-analysis about why going above 0.8 grams of protein is kind of useless. I'm an open book and really just kind of excited to put some of the things that I've been researching all these years and the diploma in human nutrition and all of that. I'm kind of excited to be able to put all of that together into some information to really help people understand what they do and don't need in their systems and, how to achieve your goals better. I need to implement it more on myself, and that's what I've been really pushing at doing lately. And I'm really excited about the people who are along for that journey with me. Uh, Hopefully soon we'll actually do a live stream Q&A, possibly over on my Twitch channel. But in the meantime, any questions you have, anything you want to learn more about or bounce off of me, feel free to reach out. I've got a Discord linked in the description below. Also, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Twitch, comments, wherever you'd like to talk to me. I'm pretty open and available. If you have questions, I may be able to address them directly, or if there's enough of the same question coming through, I may make some videos specifically answering questions. Um, in the meantime, I really appreciate you all being here. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves out there, and we'll see you next time.